is Mucha Esron. Today is 17th of January 2018. I'm a student in Bachelor's of Arts program with the College of America at Southern New Hampshire University, and I am conducting this interview as part of my academic work. With your consent, I will record this interview and use this information in Government and You deliverable. I'm working for Contribute to Society project. The interview will be used to create on a deliverable called Government and You. So this project will be submitted to CFA, to College for America, so that my project can be evaluated. This recording will be used solely for this purpose. The interview information will be temporarily stored in the College for America online evaluation system, which only the evaluators of College for America staff will have access to. Do you have any questions about it? Okay. Do you give your consent to be interviewed and recorded? Yes. Okay, thank you. So you will have to give your consent in words by your names and
I take part in this video, which will be used for students for purposes.
Thanks a lot. I have a few questions for you. What are the three branches of government?
I remember judiciary,
Yes.
Registry. Another one I don't know.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. What does each branch do?
Judiciary does with the law.
Okay.
Put in place laws.
Yes.
To hold the citizens.
Yes.
It's about the leader, you see.
Okay.
How the citizens are ruled.
Okay. Yeah. So you only need to know two about them.
I only two.
Thank you very much. There is Democrats and Republicans are the major parties. Can you name any third party that you know? Yeah. Democrats and Republicans are the three parties, are the two parties.
Where?
In America, USA.
I think in America they have only two.
Sorry? They have
So
Democrats and
they-
Republicans.
Yeah. I don't think they have the third one.
They don't have the third one. Thanks a lot. The fourth question comes as, what is the basic process by which a bill comes along?
I think it should be the senators. The senators to discuss about it.
Yes.
They put the vote to the citizens.
Yes.
Then that.
Okay. Thanks a lot for taking part in this interview.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate your time. Today is 17th of January 2018, and my name is Mucha Esron. I'm a student in a Bachelor's of Arts program with College for America at Southern New Hampshire, and I'm conducting this interview as part of my academic work. With your consent, I will record this interview and use the information in a deliverable called Government and You. Which I'm working for a goal called Contribute to Society project. The interview will be used to create a deliverable called Government and You, and will be submitted to College for America so that my project can be evaluated. This recording will be used solely for this purpose. The interview will be temporarily stored in the College for America online evaluation system, to which only the evaluators and College for America staff will have access to. Do you have any questions before we start?
No.
Okay, thank you. Do you give me your consent to be interviewed and recorded?
Yeah.
So can you give me a verbal consent?
I, Diana Mutani-Lamba, I
Yes.
accept to take part in this today's video,
Yes.
which will be kept in Southern Hampshire
Yes.
and academic work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. So I have a few questions to read for you. You can answer any question that you know. What are the three branches of government?
The three branches of government, judiciary,
Yes.
executive, and legislature.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
What does each branch do?
Yeah, I don't remember, but the executive branch
Yes.
implements the law.
Yes.
The legislature makes the law,
Yes.
and also the judiciary, I think they also deals with the implementation of the law.
Thanks a lot. The second last question. Democrats and Republicans are the major parties. Can you name any third party?
I think usually Americans only have two parties,
Okay.
but any other party that can come about, it's the private party,
Okay.
which is the third party.
Okay. Thanks a lot. The last question says, what is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law?
Sorry, I don't remember that process.
Okay. Thanks a lot for taking part in this interview.
Thank you.
It was very helpful. Thank you. In continuation to the interview I had with some of the interviewees, the two interviewees, asking them several questions, I'm going to give more explanation and details, the appropriate definitions and answers to the questions I asked in the interview. So the first question asked, what are the three branches of government? So the first branch of the government, I would say it's legislature. So this is the branch of the government that is responsible for making the laws. So they make laws. They are also known as the congressmen. They sit together and put together ideas that can be made, like by which laws can be made out of. They also have the capacity to approve presidential appointments. Those are the basic two roles they play in the as the branch of the government. So the second one is the executive. This one is responsible for reinforcing the law, enforcing the law. They are appointed by the president. So the president's office, the president himself is the one who appoints or nominates people to be in this body. And then also the vice president is also included in this body. So they are also appointed every after 4 months. The third is judiciary. For the judiciary part, they interpret and applies the law. They also check the law to see whether it's constitutional. They see if this law, the law that has been proposed, if it's constitutional, if it goes with the basic needs to the local people. And they also resolve disputes and punish lawbreakers. So the second question asks about the Republicans and the Democrats are the major parties in the US government. What are other parties? So Democrats and Republicans have been running the office, the presidential office, and winning the campaign repeatedly since 1852. And they have been able to control the Congress since 1856. So other parties in the US other than these two parties are called the other three parties, the minor parties, which are other parties other than the major parties. And these parties are not other than the three parties called the Green Party, Libertarian Party, and the Constitutional Party. These parties have been trying so hard to run the office, and they have been trying their best to put their representative in the office, but it has not been a success. They have been able to win other posts in the government, but they have never had their representative in the office as president. So that's why they are called the minor parties or the other three parties. So they are not the major parties that repeatedly are always winning the election and representing their teams, having their representative as a president in the office. So according to Kabraham.com, davidkabraham.com, after the Declaration of Independence of 1776, George Washington was the President of the United States. There was no any party. After that, after his 2-year term of in the office, that's when Jefferson challenged Adam by introducing a Democratic Republican Party, which symbolized the will of people and the rule of law, namely. So the Democratic Republic parties later came to result into the two present major parties that we know, the Democrats and then the Republicans. So Jefferson, the Democratic Republican Party ran the office, the presidential office, for over about 30 years. Later, in 1856, a group of activists led by Adam introduced a party called Republicans, and Lincoln was later the first president of this party. So there are significance of the two major parties. One is it has led to smooth leadership as the two parties worked hard to keep their achievements. So there is a great achievement since they always work hard to keep their achievements, to keep their legacy alive. It has also helped in avoiding tyrannical governments. Lastly, it has also positively helped in the development of the country since it enables the two parties to create long-term goals, the things they want to do for long term for their government. But there is another negative side of the two-party system, which is it does not give equal opportunity to other parties to contribute to their nation. Another one is the last one, it encourages voters, mostly those who support the minor parties. So it does not provide, like, it discourages these people who are in support of the minor parties, so they feel discouraged and they don't feel the need to participate in the voting. So the last question is asking, how does a bill become a law? So as I explained that, we are going to see different roles that the sponsors, the committee, the debate and the voting have in this process of a bill becoming a law. So before the bill becomes a law, it begins as an idea, just an idea from either a representative or a citizen, a local person. So if a local person has an idea, he can introduce it to the representative. So he invites the representative and discusses the idea, and if the representative agrees with the idea, he writes it by writing it into a bill. And then for that representative to go ahead, he needs support. This support comes from other representatives. So the support is known as sponsors. These sponsors, he needs sponsors who can support his idea, so he will introduce the idea to them, and if they like it, they will also take it to the House of Representatives, by which they will discuss it in details, but at first, after discussing it with the local person, with the citizen, he makes research and then he sees if it's applicable, then he writes it as a bill. So once it's introduced to other representatives and he has support, that means he has sponsors, they can take it to the House of Representatives. So in the US House of Representatives, a bill is introduced and placed in something called a hooper. As I read, it's a special box where they put those bills that will be read in the presence of all other members of the House, including the Senate. So the clerk reads the bill to the representatives, and the Speaker of the House sends the bill to one of the House Standing Committee. After that, when it's sent to the House of the committee sits and makes further research to study whether the bill should be taken to further parties that are responsible. So this group also sits, evaluates the bill, makes further research to justify if it requires their time and attention to take it to another level. So in this case, the bill can be sent back to the House floor in case they need further details or further research or further explanations about the bill. So if the research given or the ideas shared are not satisfying, they can send it back to the House of Floor to a subcommittee where it can also be re-evaluated and more facts and proofs can be given to support that idea. And once a bill has been approved, it can be reported to the House of Representatives. That means it is sent or reported to the House floor. So once it's approved, it is sent to the House floor. But if it still has things to clarify, they send it to subcommittee to have it justified. So after it has been approved by this committee, the experts, they send it to the House floor or to the representatives, to the House of Representatives, where the bill is debated. When a bill is debated, they discuss and explain why they agree and disagree with it. In this phase, they evaluate the bill part by part, like phases by phases, until they have a final report that they can vote upon. After they do this process, now the bill is ready to be taken for a vote. In this part of the vote, there are several, about three steps or methods in which they can use to vote this bill. So the Speaker of the House of the Representatives asks for those in support of the bill to say aye or no if they don't, aye if they agree with the bill, and no if they disagree with the bill. The other way of voting is division. This phase, they use the system of standing. So he asks those in support of the bill to stand, they count them, and he also asks people who are not in support of the bill to stand, they also count. So the third is recorded. This phase, the last phase involves three ways. There is voting using electronic voting system, where you can say yes or no, or present if you don't want to vote. So if you say no, that means you're against the bill. If you say yes, that means you agree with the bill. And if you say present, that means you don't want to vote. That is the third. So here they will follow the number of people depending on what they did vote. If they vote yes, that means the clerk is going to approve it and send it to the office of the Senate. If the majority says no, then the bill is declined from there. So the bill is referred to the Senate on the following phase of the voting of the bill. So this basically this 8th phase of the Senate, they also follow the same procedures that were used by the House of the Senate. They also vote the bill, and once it goes through, it is sent to the President, and once it doesn't go through by voting, it is declined from there. So after voting of the Senate and the bill passes through, they send it to the President. Here the President makes the choice, either 3 choices. He can sign the bill and make it a law, like by signing he agrees that it becomes a law, or he can refuse to sign or veto, and he sends the bill back to the US House of Representatives by reasons why he didn't sign. And here the House of Representatives can sit if they really think this should become a law. If they really value it very much, they sit, and if the third of the representatives vote it, so the choice of the President can be overridden. Like they can make choices by neglecting what the President's choice was. So the third phase is when the Congress is in session. When the Congress is not in session, the bill automatically becomes a law. And if the Congress is not in session, the bill does not become a law. So those are the 3 processes. When the bill goes through the US House of Senate, and then to the Senate, the US House of Representatives, to the Senate, and then to the President, he signs it, it becomes a law. Also, if he declines it, if he votes veto, and it goes back to the House of Representatives, and a third of them vote it to be a law, they override the choice of the President, the decision of the President. Also, if the Congress is not in session, it automatically becomes a law. Thank you. God bless you.